Automating Excel with Power Automate Desktop is straightforward. Here we have some Excel data. As you can see, these are time registrations. I want to work with especially the employee and the hours for each one of these rows. I also have another sheet called employee. The first one is called timesheet, where we have the employee of the month in. Go to here and then save it. And if you don't have this Excel book, you can download it from the below in the description. So save it here. That's important because I want to show you an important concept. Now let's go close it. We have the Excel book here in this project folder. As you can see here, it's called timesheet.xlsx. What I want to do is to grab the path of this project folder and say copy as path. We will go to Power Automate Desktop and create a new flow. Let's call this one Excel lesson. First thing we want to do is to introduce a variable. Variables are just containers for values. We can define them, for example, here in the set variable. So find a set variable action and drag it in. Let's give it a name. I will call this one maybe just project path, like this. In the value, Control V, remove these quotation marks as we don't need them when we want to refer to this path. So this is just the folder. Now I will talk about why this is beneficial in 2 seconds. Now we want to open up an Excel book. So here I find the launch Excel and drag it in. We will not open a blank document. We will usually do this when we want to create some sort of a report, but here we want to open up a document, the document path. Go click here, and as you can see here, I can choose to select a variable. I could also navigate to the file and then hard code it in from the project. However, we want to use variables, and that is because this path can change. So if I use a variable, then it's just to go into the start of my flow if I want to maintain this and just change their folder up here. That's handy if I want to move this automation to another person's computer or, for example, a server. We also want to say, look in the project path. As you can see, the path is up here, and give me the timesheet.xlsx. Make instance visible. That is, Excel will pop up. That is beneficial because Power Automate Desktop can and will log Excel books when we produce an error, when we develop, and we are not ending it. The variable produced is called Excel instance. We can work with this. We hit save. So what we do here is to open up an Excel book. We can also close it, and we always want to do that again to avoid that Power Automate Desktop closes it. As you can see here, we close the Excel instance and we do not save it, at least for now. Now let's go check that this works. So go up and hit run, and you will see that this runs without an error. Without an error means that you can see this little green check mark here. Then your references are correct. Otherwise, open it, rewind the video, and make sure you did what I do. So then we can start to read some data. We read data by finding read from Excel worksheet here. Make sure you drag it in between launch and close. We want to work in the Excel instance. I want to read the entire sheet, all values from worksheet. Here we can see in the advanced that first line of range contains column names. Yes, we have headers in our Excel data. What gets produced here is a data table called Excel data. Let's call this one timesheet data. Like this, and hit save. So now we read this data into a data table. A data table is just a table in the memory of Power Automate Desktop. It has rows and columns just like an Excel table. We do this to work a lot faster than, let's imagine that we would need to open up an Excel book with Power Automate Desktop and do operations in a sheet. Go over here to the timesheet data. Now we see that we have the employee of the month, Sophia Martinez. We want to get the registrations. So here we have a problem. That's because Power Automate Desktop will read the last active Excel sheet. So what we do here is to say set the active Excel worksheet before we read from it, because we cannot be sure that Power Automate Desktop hasn't worked in the other sheet, or a colleague of mine has opened it, or even myself. So drag in the set active Excel worksheet. Now I want to say name, and the name of that sheet was indeed called timesheet. Then we hit save. Now let's try to run it again. So this is reading the data into a data table. We see that we have 31 rows and 7 columns over here. You can double click it. Now we have our data. So now we can start working with it. So to iterate a data table, we want to use a for each. So here you find a for each. It will be in loops, and in case you don't see it, you can expand it here. Or you can also have a space. I'm not sure why it's like that, but that's the way to find it if you don't see it. So then after the close Excel, we can iterate this Excel book, or Excel data table, sorry. We click the X and we navigate to timesheet data. Then we can also see that we have the current. This is just a name in this loop. So when we take them with the for each from start to finish, then there will be a current item. Let's call this one current registration. That name will say a little bit more about the data. This is completely voluntary. You can do it as you want. I recommend that you name your variables after the data they hold. So now we will iterate the timesheet data, and each one of these rows are called the current registration. Then we will have the activities in the for each that we want to perform. Right now we have nothing. Let's try to test it. If I set a breakpoint here, that will pause the automation once the first iteration of this for each is in. So we will have one current iteration, registration. Let's go try do that. I recommend that we try our automations here and there just to see that this actually works. So here you can see the current registration. That is indeed the first row of our data table. Here you can see we have headers of this row. So if I want to get the employee, I will look in the current registration, get the employee, or get the value from the employee header, and for example, the hours. I can similarly click run. That will be the next iteration. You'll probably see that this is another name. It's indeed, it's the Aisha with another entry ID. We don't need to take all of them, so I'll just do this. To print out the values, later on we will use them. We can go in and find a display message. I just want to show you that we can get the values out because we want to, for example, process them into a system. Go up here and we want to go into the current registration, and here I can say employee. Do like this. This will go into this row with this header and get us the value. I can also, I'm lazy, do like this and also show you that I can print out the hours like this, and later on we will of course use these values for something. Keep message box always on top, then it will pop out in the front of all other programs. Let's go see it. Now you will see that we are able to get the values. It's over on my other screen. Let's drag it in. Here we have Sophia Martinez, 7. We have Arisha Raman, and so forth. That's how you isolate the values here. Now let's just go stop it. So what we want is to take this employee and this hours. Of course, we want them as separate values and put them into a system. And by the way, this Excel video, that is, if you want a complete Power Automate desktop course, I created a 6-hour video with a 1-hour Excel lesson, by the way. I also have a 6-hour advanced course. You can get everything for $12 a month. There's even a 7-day free trial. The link is in below. But let's go solve this. What I want to do here is to open up this URL. I also have a password. You can also get the password below. So what we want to do here, let me close my password saver, is to, for each one of these, I want to say Sophia Martinez. So for each one of these entries, I want to have the name here. Then I want to have the hours and I want to register. So that's our task. So we want to open up this URL, Control C to copy it. We only need to do it once. So here I want to launch new. I prefer Edge, but you can take whatever suits you. I put it in here, Control V to paste it in. That one will open. I can choose to maximize it if I want that, but normal is fine. This opens up a browser variable called browser. We can later refer to this variable when we want to automate this very window with this URL opened. Now we open it. Then we can also say, so instead of this current registration employee, we will use this expression when we want to type into our web system. So let's do it over. And that's the beauty of it. So for each one of these entries, we will do something. When we want to write something on a web page, we will find a populate text field on web page and drag it in here. As you can see, we work in the browser, add a UI element, and now I can find this employee, press Control. We can say, what do we want in? This is the exact same impression as before, current registration employee in hard brackets. Like this. I just wanted to create the expression again so you get used to it. So that's it. We hit save. We can do the same thing for the hours. We drag it in here. We work in the browser. We need to find a UI element. That will be the hours here. Current registration in hard brackets. We will have the hours like this. Then we also need to click the, what was it called? Register inquiry. And keep in mind that if, not that it matters that much, if I do like this, register 2 more hours on Sophia, this will get added here. Not that it was related, but I just want to tell you. So here we have a click link on web page. Drag it in, find that UI element. It's that easy to automate browser. And we do like this. So we open, we iterate, and we process all of this data. I could also have a nice little message box here. When the automation is done, I can just say, flow ran successfully. Of course, I don't know, but let's just say, for at least for now, it will do. We could also probably, let's just open here. We can see it runs in the background. Now it will start to process Sophia Martinez, 7, register, here we go. Now we will process all the rows. However, how do we handle when the hours is empty? We could try to handle that, do some error handling. I will teach you that in a little while, and please, while we wait, if you enjoyed this video, then give it a thumbs up. That will really help me and my channel a lot. I can make a lot more videos. Now let's just, because we need to see 31 entries, let's just fast forward over this. And here you see that we tried to put in an empty value and it didn't even register an error. That's just this old school system. Of course, it's just a demo system today, but it could be an old school system. Also, so we want to be able to handle that. We can do it in many ways, and that's also a part of my entire Power Automate desktop course. So right now, I don't need to, let me go up here if I can stop it here. Let me just do like this. Now we want to stop it. So what I want to do is to go back and only put in the entries where the hours have a value. And that is, let us just show you the timesheet data here. Well, I cannot double click. Sometimes there's a bug. If I stop it in between, you will not be able to double click it. But we have several rows where the hours is missing. When we want to ask a question in Power Automate Desktop, we just use an if. An if asks a question that can be answered with true or false. So before we start to populate it, we will just say if the current registration, that was the current row. So if the hours column is not empty, that means we can start to process them. We have a value in it. And then click the end, drag it here. So now it's only the successes where we have an hour in it that will get processed. This is how easy it is to automate Excel. Now we will start working. And here you will see that we will only populate the ones where we have a value in hours. Your next Power Automate Desktop video is right here. See you.